What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Wake up with me. It's your man, Tresvon Pratt with AIM. Always improving the mind. Man, we here on another beautiful Monday. Can't wait to share the love with the people, right? Let me know how y'all feeling. How was y'all weekend? Has it been lovely for you all? Has it been wonderful? And before we dive into the topic of discussion, I want to give a birthday shout out. Today is July 29th. Happy birthday to Doc Rob, Mr. Robert Utley, who was our last guest on the Power People Live. Uh, Righteousness, respect, power. Shout out to him. And for that, I'm going to add all of his links into the description here. Okay. So shout out to him on this live. I'm gonna add all of his links. This will be displayed in the description here. Happy birthday, my man, big old Leo. My birthday is next week. You might not see me. I might be turning up somewhere. I might be asleep somewhere. You never know. I never know. But I digress. Mindset Monday. We talk a lot about mindset here. It's funny, I still got the morning voice. I tried to shake it before I came onto the live, but here we are. Um, Mindset Monday. We talk about a lot. We talk a lot about mindset, and we've touched on a few characteristics of a healthy mindset, but we never actually done a live or discussed what a healthy mindset looks like. What a healthy mindset looks like. Go ahead, put it in the chat, put it in the comments right now. What does a healthy mindset look like? I put this out there and got little response. Little response. I think it's one of those simple questions that make you think, and not too many people have actually thought about, what do I have a healthy mindset? What makes a healthy mindset? And it's kind of like anxious or nervous to think about, like, because I might not have you know. Uh, so let's discuss it. Let's make some. Let's. I made a list. I even researched this one, but I made a list of my own. What I believe are qualities of a healthy mindset. Y'all let me know. You just tuning in, just tapping in. Y'all let me know what are some qualities of a healthy mindset. Okay. How can you tell you or someone else have a healthy mindset? This is more so, if you ask me, these characteristics are characteristics that you should be looking for in others to assure that they have a healthy mindset. Someone you can build with, someone you can possibly put some trust into. So let's go. The very first thing that I thought of when it came to having a healthy mindset, a person who has a healthy mindset does not take everything personally. And I had to learn that myself. I wasn't that much of a healthy mindset. I was a good person, but I ain't had that much of a healthy mindset a few years ago. And I took everything personally, man. Like my wife now, she wasn't my wife at the time. Uh she had gotten to a point where she was scared to talk to me because she knew that I was going to take it personally. Like, she just needed to vent, or she just, wanted to let me know something. And I'm like, well, okay, so I'm messing up. Oh, I'm this. Oh, you saying that, you want to leave me? Like, yo, that's not, that's not it, man. Like, you can't even talk to somebody who takes everything personally. And I've been that person, so I can speak on that. That's that, that's one of the main ones, if you ask me. Do not look. If you have a healthy mindset, If a person has a healthy mindset, they do not take everything personally. And that in order to be able to do that, you have to have some type of, and we go through these as well. In order to do that, hey Patrice, hey Cuzzo. In order to do that, you got to have some of these other characteristics that we're going to talk about, like resiliency, self-awareness. Uh, let's see. You got to have all of these characteristics about yourself, man. In order to just to not take everything personally, you got to know yourself and understand, like, even if that was a personal shot at me, that's still not something for me to take personal, right? That's how you felt about me. That's not how I feel about myself. If you take something personally that someone has said about you or to you, that means at some level you believe it to be true. So now there's like I'm not easily deterred, right? I'm not easily you're not you're not gonna shake me easily, right? You might make me uncomfortable. You might make me uneasy in your presence. Guess what? I'm gonna go ahead and get out your presence, right? Because I don't allow all of that in my presence. If I feel like you're trying to come at me personally, I might ask you why, because there's no real reason, you know, and I'm big on communication, so we should be able to talk, you know. So if there's something that you coming at me personally for or trying to make me take something personally, then what's going on? Did I do something? Did I upset you? Did my presence upset you? You know, simple things. Did I, shadow did was you shadowed in a conversation with me? Because I'm gonna shine, you know. So do you feel like I, overstepped? Do you feel like I took over the conversation? Did I cut you off? Or, is there something that I did that made you want to come at me personally? I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to acknowledge the personal attack. But a healthy mindset, person who has a healthy mindset does not take everything personally. Write that down, please. Good morning, everybody who's here. It's Mindset Monday. I can't shake the morning voice, the DJ voice, but we here. Okay. Another characteristic of a healthy mindset. A person with a healthy mindset is accepting of others for who they are. And this one can get tricky because I acknowledge people for who they are, and I see their greatness, right? I see their potential. I see what they can be. But I learned this. You can only help others as much as they allow. So I want to put you in position. I want to give you opportunities. What is it that you said that you want to do? Oh, I know somebody that you can plug in with that. How about you come out on a Saturday evening or a Sunday morning, 2 times that you usually don't want to do nothing extracurricular. But if you're serious about something and there's an opportunity, then you'll be willing. That's another characteristic we'll talk about, to do something outside of your norm, to get to that purposeful, meaningful, to unleash this potential that you have, right? Now, I want to be able to put you in position, but that's only if you're willing to. I can't force you to be willing. We just talked about that old phrase. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You could give a person knowledge, but you can't make them think. Hello. So I'm accepting of others for who they are. That's a healthy mindset. Accept people for who they are, where they are, how they are, in totality, where they are right now. They could be okay. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. They could be better. What's better for you may not be better for them. We think we know what better looks like on somebody else, right? If they just lost a little bit more weight and shaped up, man, they'll look so good. Hmm. If they just knew how to talk and say certain things, man, I could talk to that person forever. Oh, if they just did a little bit more, man, I think they lazy. They may not be lazy. They may not be interested in what it is that you see fit for them. Mm. So accepting of others for who they are is a characteristic of a healthy mindset, right? Like I'm capable of assisting you and pushing you and supporting you, but I'm gonna accept you for who you are and what you do. This alleviates ridicule, right? I'm not gonna hold nothing against you. If I give you an opportunity, if I set you up for an opportunity and you don't jump at it, I accept that too. It just wasn't for you. It wasn't meant. If you come back to me wanting the same opportunity over and over again, you'll get more chances, but not a lot more because I'm going to accept you for who you are. So I can't go off of your wording all the time, but I'll go off of your actions. So I won't continue to put myself out there for what it is that you say you want when you're showing me otherwise. Hello. So that's another characteristic is you're accepting of others for who they are. Okay. Another characteristic that I thought about, right? Characteristic of a healthy mindset. You can talk to others or about others without ridicule. Hmm. You're not a gossip girl or guy. You can talk to others without ridicule, right? Now, I'm one who likes to laugh. I make jokes, right? But my jokes are jokes that I don't mind telling to the person. More than likely, I've already told to the person, and we both had a laugh about it. So if I say it behind that person's back, that person knows that it's a joke. We already joked, so I'm not ridiculing someone. I'm not belittling someone. That ain't my stilo, man. I need I need optimism. Like we can joke, but I could tell when somebody's joking or you trying to defy me. Like you tried too hard. Hey, here we go. Don't take everything personally. You tried too hard to make a personal attack and try to, but that was just a joke. It wasn't a joke. I understand. I'ma still laugh at the attempt. It wasn't a joke though. That's a healthy mindset characteristic is you could talk to and about others without ridicule. Try complimenting, right? Try forgiveness. Try empathy. Like, dang, I know at work somebody come up short on their subjects at work. Most people be like, man, dang, they can't even da da da. And I'm the one who's like, maybe there was a reason. I know other people get mad at because the powers that be will try and try like for some reason in this day and age, I know the reason. For some reason in this day and age, power driven is manipulation tactics, So keep people separated, isolated, and keep their mind in the fear-based mentality. And that's even in the job place, especially in the job place. It's not just politics. It's especially in the job place, right? So this job that I'm at currently has manipulated a few minds to believe that if you don't work on your day off, you're not showing up for the team. BS. Let me clarify. BS. Okay, that is not it. For you to work 6, 7 days a week for you to show up for the team, how about y'all get some adequate staffing? How about y'all show up for the ones who are showing up? No appreciation. Nah, I digress. I bring it back. So there are people who have fallen under that manipulation of mentality to believe that, hey, if you're not working on your day off, you're not showing up for the team. So I'm upset with those who, you know, those people are upset with other people. And I'm like, how can you be upset with them? Aren't you tired? Yes, I'm tired, but I'm still here. That's your choice. If they're tired and they have a day off and they take their day off, I can't be upset with them, huh? I can't ridicule them. I can't belittle them or hold something against them because they took their scheduled day off. It's their day. You're not supposed to work all your life. You're not supposed to put 6 days into the work week and then one into your entire life. Like, no, dude. Okay. Next characteristic of a healthy mindset. That one was you can talk to others and about others without ridicule. Okay. The next characteristic of a healthy mindset, and I'm gonna just keep on going. We're not gonna touch base on all of on this whole list. This gonna have to be a part one. We'll do a part two probably next Monday. Um, the next characteristic of a healthy mindset, they can take accountability. Woo. Now, we've talked about accountability quite a lot on here. And I try to simplify it. Taking accountability does not mean taking blame, right? It's accepting your part in whatever is your life, your decisions, every decision you've made has led you to where you are. You could take accountability for that because only you can decide and move, you know? Only you could decide and move. I think Gary V or Grant Cardone gave this explanation. Said, if you drive to work, right? You drive to work and you take a highway. There's multiple routes that you can take to work, but you always take this highway. But you know that this highway is more busy, it's more traffic, it's more likely to have an accident, whatever. But you chose that highway. And now there's an accident on that highway, it's backed up, and now you're going to be late for work. It's not an excuse that there was an accident on the highway. Neither is it your fault, but you could take accountability in the fact that you chose to take that route to work. You could have went another way. You could have listened out on the news or the airways to see, what the traffic looking like before you went, on that highway. But that's accountability. You still got some part that you can, hey, I could have did something different. I could have learned something. I could have, you know, that's accountability. So a healthy mindset takes accountability. They don't take the blame for everything. Everything is not their fault, but they take accountability for themselves and what they could have done, should have done, will do, you know, they know when to apologize, right? They're open to feelings. Like, did I actually here we go. You don't take everything personally, but did I do something personally to harm you? If I did, whether it was with my wording or maybe I brushed against you and didn't know, stepped on your shoe and didn't know, I was in a rush. I don't know. But I could take accountability for whatever I've done. That's a healthy mindset. A person who is able and willing and does take accountability is a characteristic, a strong characteristic of a healthy mindset, man. Please learn to take accountability out there. If more people took accountability for their part, I believe there would be way more effective communication and there will be way more interdependency. There'll be way more willfulness. There'll be way more respect. There'll be way more community. You can't have community without communication. A lot of people aren't willing, which is our next characteristic. A lot of people aren't willing to communicate because a lot of people will not take accountability for their part in whatever. And it could be simple. Like, you said you was gonna call me. Well, why you ain't call me? You said you was going to call me. It's my fault that we didn't talk when you said that you was going, small, small but important. Small but important. I told you I was free, such and such. You said you was gonna give me a call and you didn't call. I didn't assume things were bad. I just assumed that you were busy or you might have forgotten, which is okay. But don't blame it on me, you know. Take some accountability, man. You got to pick up the phone too. You got to reach out too. You got to open your closed mouth, don't get fed. You better open your mouth. Say something, right? Take some accountability. I truly believe you are able to take accountability in all facets of your life than others. And here's the thing about accountability. Accountability is addictive. When others are in the presence of someone who takes accountability, then that makes them want to take accountability. It makes it easy for them to take accountability. When somebody can confess, like, yeah, I did XYZ, and if it's something to apologize for, they apologize for it. Then uh the next person, it's addictive. The next person does it almost instantaneously every time. Me being one who could take accountability, when I take accountability for myself and my part of whatever the situation may be, and it's not always a bad thing, like, it's good stuff too. But when I take accountability for myself and whatever the situation is, somebody else can too. You know, when I take accountability, taking accountability could look like taking your credit, like, yeah, I did that, somebody else like, yeah, we'll boost myself up too. I did mine, and it's addictive. It starts to flow easily. So our next characteristic of a healthy mindset, this might be the last one, depending on our time. I shortened the lives down to 30 minutes, instead of an hour, but we'll see. The next characteristic, I mentioned it quite a few times throughout this live, and I spoke on it a few times within the video catalog. Y'all, go back and check out the videos that I've posted, not just the lives, but the videos. There's some videos I scrolled through them this morning, and I was like, dang, I done talked about some things. I'm telling you, there's something that is some type of gem there. There we go, bigging myself up. I take accountability for that. There's a gem there that you may be able to benefit from. Go scroll through the catalog. Go scroll through the previous videos, okay? Uh, so yes, the last characteristic of a healthy mindset for part one, because we're gonna do a part two to this. Last characteristic of a healthy mindset, part one, is willingness. Willingness. None of this will matter if you're not willing. If you're not willing to take accountability, then you will not. If you're not willing to talk to others or about others without ridicule, then you will not. If you're not willing to accept others for who they are, it won't happen. It won't happen. And side note, in order to accept others for who they are, you must first accept yourself for who you are. And a lot of us struggle with that because we acknowledge our own potential, but then look at our current situations and be like, I'm better than this, but I'm not. And then it's that tug of war of where you are and where you're going, you know. So we usually don't accept ourselves. It could be a tricky, feeble thing to accept yourself for who you are as you always improving, as you build yourself up for who you want to be. Huh? But you can't solve a problem that you do not acknowledge. Let me rephrase that, because improving doesn't mean that it's a problem, right? Improving yourself doesn't mean that it's a difficult, uh, a negative thing that you got to reprogram, right? Like, I'm good at communicating. I can always improve, right? So I'm working on that constantly. My fallback on communication is digital. I'm not good at responding to DMs, messages, emails, texts. I'll text first out of all of those things. But as far as like the DMs and stuff, I always be like, I'll get back to it. I want to set aside some time for this communication, for this conversation to happen, and I wind up not seeing that I have enough time. I always predict that this conversation is going to last at least an hour. Let me try to find an hour, and I don't have an hour just to text back and forth. That's me. So it doesn't mean that I won't respond, doesn't mean that I have ill intent, but I can improve. So in order to accept others for who they are, you have to accept yourself for who you are. And you can't improve intentionally until you accept yourself for who you are. Until you accept that, hey, I need improvement in this area, you won't seek improvement. Right? But in order to do all of that, you have to be willing. You have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to change your habits. You have to be willing to talk to people. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. You have to be willing to do things out of the norm. You have to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take in new advice. You have to be willing to apply that advice, right? Because knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. It's what you do with what you learn that will get you the result. Action gets result. It's not enough just to think good. You must also put into action. But in order to put into action, what you got to be? Willing. Can't have community without communication. You have to be willing to communicate. You have to be willing to take on that initial, what's the word for it, man? It's like breaking down walls or barriers, or like a lot of people find it embarrassing, you know, uh say for instance, I said be more willing to communicate, be more willing to talk to somebody. But when you try to talk to somebody and you get quote unquote rejected, other people look at it as embarrassing and all of that. I'm gonna tell you, be willing to be embarrassed. Once you're clear about what it is that you want to do, there's not too much embarrassment to be had. No, this is what I wanted to do. Even if that person didn't agree or go along with my plan in my head, still, I did what I wanted to do. I said, hey, didn't say hi back. Okay. Don't take it personally. Okay, don't take it personally. Except that person does not, want to talk at the moment. It could just have something on their mind, could not have heard you. There's so many variables to it, but don't take it personally, right? Still talk to or about them without ridicule. Here we go. Take accountability. Maybe I didn't speak loud enough. Maybe I wasn't clear. Maybe I caught them at the wrong time. Okay, I take accountability in that. I'm willing to try again. I'm willing to try again, right? All of the characteristics of a healthy mindset. You just proved it. And that concludes part one of the characteristics of a healthy mindset. I hope this helps you all. Definitely helps me when I put it in perspective because there's a lot of things that I've learned. There's a lot of things that I do and don't acknowledge, right? Being a creator, especially when talking about mindset, it's a lot of things that I just do. I have to be like uber self-aware. I got to be like hyper self-aware for me to be able to think like, what is it that I do, or what is it that I should talk about, or like what is happening that I should bring to the forefront. Um, and let this be known, man, I am not perfect. I struggle with everything, every emotion, but I'm emotionally stable. I'm emotionally self-aware, and those are characteristics that we're going to get into on part two of the characteristics of a healthy mindset. Okay. Like, I'm not sitting up here like I got it all together. No, nobody does. And if they do, if they tell you so, then you know that they cap. They just right here. They capping. Okay. Uh, we all have our ups and downs. That's life. We're not always gonna feel happy, not always gonna feel good. But that shouldn't deter you from if you have a healthy mindset, that shouldn't deter you from, you know, the good that you got going on, right? That shouldn't deter you from these characteristics that we're listing out. You should still, even if you're not in the best of moods, you should still not be talking to or about others, with ridicule. You should still be able to accept others for who they are. You should still not take things personally, even if you're not in the best of moods, right? You should still be willing, right? I give my own examples. I'm my own example. I go to work. Work is like the biggest work is the place that you're gonna spend the most time other than home. And for my work, I spend more time there than I do home, right? Not entirely a downfall, but a lot of my experiences come from the job setting. Now, my job setting is outside, so it's basically the world. But my experience, right? I can go and I'll be given my assignment for the day. Cool, I can do that, right? I can handle that. I'm good with that. And before I go and start my assignment, yeah, the assignment changed because so and so ain't come in today. So now you got double. And I don't take it personally, but it does affect me. Like, dang, I got to do double work, right? Okay, I have to adapt to that. I have to adjust to that. But I'm not always willing. And when I'm not willing to do double the assignment that I was previously given, it takes me longer. Surprise, surprise. It takes me longer. My day seems to drag on. I don't have the energy. All of a sudden, I had the energy when I was in a good mood. I don't have the energy all of a sudden. And, you know, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know when I'm gonna get off. I don't know what time I'm gonna be done. I don't feel like answering no more questions. I don't feel like talking to nobody. Just let me put my head down and work. If I got to do this much more. So I'm not always in the best of moods. But once I get started, once I put my head down and worked a little bit, and I'm like, man, it's not even that bad, right? It's not even that bad for real, for real. I thank God that I'm capable of doing twice as much, right? And then my willingness shoots up. And once I'm more willing, then I'm in a better mood. I'm in a better pace. I'm making things happen and that workflow goes quicker. I get into this mode where I'm just like knocking it out. And I've been doing that intentionally for like the last 2 weeks. And so far, hope no managers see this, but so far, no matter what the workload, I've been getting off around the same time, around the same time, because I've found a trick that helps me boost my momentum, boost my willingness. I'm just increase my willingness to do this instead of comparing to what I was supposed to do, right? That's the simple trick. Instead of comparing, like, dang, I had an hour and a half. Now I got 3 hours of extra work on top of mine. And it's a heavy day. Instead of complaining and being upset at the task and comparing the task, I just focus on the task at hand and my capability to be able to do the task, and my willingness shoots up and my drive and momentum shoots up. Now I have the energy. Now I'm clear minded. Now I'm thinking about other things while I'm doing this work. And surprise, surprise, I knock out the work quicker than when I'm just in a negative mood because of the change. I hope that helps somebody. I hope somebody gets that bar. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Tresvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. Much love. We building healthy mindsets here, and I want you all to have a healthy. That's my purpose. We talk about mental health. I just want you all to have a healthy mindset, as well as myself, and we'll discuss more about that on part 2. All right. Till next time.